Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
How much time do we have? Yeah, I mean, I w okay, I'll come from a massage therapist point of view. So, I have been practicing massage therapy since 2000. I'm coming up on my, 25-year anniversary, which is crazy. I'm not that old. I'm
Congratulations.
only 25, so I don't really know how that's possible. I must have started practicing when I was born. But my massage therapy career has gone through many iterations, as I feel like happens for a lot of massage therapists, because there is so many places that it can go, and there's so many opportunities, and there's so many routes that we can take, not only within the modalities, but kind of as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and all of the things that make this whole field be what it is. And I feel like my path has taken me on pretty much all of those on all of those journeys. So it's been really fun. So I've had a private practice. I've worked for chiropractors. I've worked for PTs. I've worked in spas. I mean, I've done that whole gamut. And then I started teaching at a school. And then I had some students who were like, this was kind of at the beginning of the cell phone era. And I had some students who were like trying to film my demos in the classroom. And I was like, what are you doing? That's not right. We don't do that. And of course, now, like, that's all we do. But they made a couple comments of like, if you videotaped these demos and put them up on YouTube, we would watch them. And so I did. And then that started to grow. And as that started to grow, I mean, I just like everything kind of expanded from there. I was able to make a product that I feel very passionate about and felt kind of like other people might feel the same way. And turns out they did and they do. And that is continuing to grow. And my teaching journey has continued to grow. I've developed continuing ed courses. I teach both online and on ground and travel around and do all the fun things. And I just feel like I write an article for Massage and Bodywork magazine. I have a podcast. I just feel like the doors continue to open and I want to say yes to all the things because why the heck not? I mean, we really are. Oh, there's like so much I want to just get out of this one life that I'm living. And I'm just trying to do all the things. It's a little overwhelming sometimes, but also amazing. So,
I can relate to all of those feelings. But
yay.
for all of the listeners out there that are watching and listening to this, I just want to say, Rebel Massage, you are like a flagship in our industry. You're somebody to watch, right? I mean,
Ooh,
you're somebody to pay attention to, and you have a name in this business.
thank
And
you.
if you don't know who Rebel Massage is, you should know her by now.
You. So sweet of you to say. Thank you so much.
So let me ask you this. Where did you come up with the name Rebel Massage?
Uh, I I mean, my own like I came out into this world as a rebel, and I feel like I've grappled with who that is inside of me from quite literally day one. I mean, anything that was imposed upon me, I was just like, I want to figure it out my own way. I wanted to like, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to have my own plan about how I do things. And so the word rebel for me has always boiled down to not necessarily like taking down who's in charge or like causing a ruckus or being mutinous. It's more about defining who I am in a world that is full of noise and everybody's got an opinion and advice and guidance and the shoulds. I really worked hard for whatever reason. It was like my inside drive to be like, well, what is it that I feel like is right and that I'm gaining and that I want to track with that feels like a good path for me? And I feel like it's so similar for all massage therapists because we get into school and we learn Swedish, and then we learn deep tissue, and then we learn sports, and then we learn shiatsu, and then we learn orthopedic, and then we learn, I mean, the gamut of modalities that are out there can be completely overwhelming because it can feel, especially to a new therapist, like, how am I supposed to know what I like? There's so many things out there. And I feel like my business model, the thing that I have call Rebel Massage, is trying for the most part to empower massage therapists to find their inner voice and to like enjoy all of the exploring and enjoy all of the CE classes from all of the different teachers and all the different perspectives, and then pull a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of what they like and a little leave behind what they don't like and make that their thing. So the word rebel has always been a a word for me that felt like it defined me. So it just kind of
It felt like a hat and you were wearing it.
I was already wearing it and I just like gave it a name. So yeah.
Well, let me further ask this question. Now, do you feel like being rebellious, does it mean that you're going to break the rules? Or does that mean you are just pushing up to the rules? Or what do you think about rules?
That's a very good question. And it kind of comes back to like I think what I was saying before, and I think is a bigger conversation always, is that exactly what you just asked. Like, what are the rules? What are rules in general? Why do we have them? And if you think about rules, they are imposed by the people who came before us or the people who are in charge. And I honor and respect rules as much as I can, but there's a balance of getting to a point where I want to recognize in myself when a rule inherently doesn't feel right to me, and if there's something that if I feel like I want to pick and choose that battle to fight and start to define something that feels like a parameter that I would feel comfortable operating in or a rule that I would enjoy being a part of. I feel like this is a big messy conversation because there's so many ways to think about what a rule is and who's in charge and what that means. But I think ultimately it comes down to this very fine line balance, this like balancing act that I feel like we all walk all the time of like, well, at what point are you breaking a rule? And at what point are you redefining something that is old and needs to be redefined? Or at what time are you respecting a rule, but at what time are you confining yourself and not looking outside of the box? So I do respect rules because I feel like it's part of being a kind human and sustaining like a social world that feels kind and nice and respectful, but I think there's also always this part of us that feels like maybe we can't ask some harder questions, and I think I'm more just ask the question, have the conversation. It doesn't mean you're, like, bad for asking the question. It just means, like, have the conversation, and then let's go from there and see what happens.
I love it. I love it. I
Thank you.
knew you had a story around the word rebel. I think I'm a rebel too. I feel there's a lot of people that really identify as a rebel. Now, I am big on rules. I think I haven't always been, but as a leader now in our industry, I am a big advocate for them because I believe that we got to practice what we preach. And it's helped me in my own health. Big
Yes.
time. I mean,
Yes.
I tell my clients how to live healthier. Why don't I practice what I preach?
Right.
And that mirror behavior has changed me.
It's no joke. The mirror thing is no joke. That'll teach you all sorts of lessons. It's
It's
crazy.
it's powerful,
Mm, yep. Totally.
very
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. It is. But I also think that there's something in that. Like, I think that the rules that as a leader in the industry, the rules that you're wanting to hold as a structure feel safe. And I think when we are really looking at ourselves hard, we want to feel safe. And those rules help us to feel safe. And there's not one moment that I'm kind of saying, like, break down the walls and break all the rules. I'm more just, well, look at that rule. And if the rule is reflecting a mirror back at you that you need to look at, then that's the conversation. Or
Yeah,
if the rule is, I don't know, there's something that doesn't feel right here, then that's the conversation.
absolutely. Question everything.
Please. Yes, please.
Well, good. I like that. So one of the things that I really like to do is just kind of get to know like how you got into massage because
Mhm.
those are usually really good stories too. Was there some sort of a path or something that happened in around 2000? I think you said you graduated in 2000. What were you doing before then? How did you even get into this world?
I mean, it definitely feels like my story is not as powerful as some other stories of people who get into massage therapy. Because I feel like when I became a teacher and I started to hear all the stories of why people enter the field of bodywork and healing and massage therapy. I mean, there are some incredible stories out there, and mine does not quite hit that height. Mine was really just about the fact that I was living in Boulder, Colorado at the time, and I was very physical. I was very physically active. I was racing triathlons. I was on a hip hop dance troupe. I was like just outside. I was mountain biking. I was doing so much stuff all the time, and I was receiving a lot of massage. And I was also waiting tables for a living. Like, that's what I was doing, and I didn't quite know what I studied philosophy and religion in college, and I really wasn't doing much with that. Like, there's not room on many CEO benches for a philosophy religion major. So, I was receiving a lot of massages and using my body a lot and curious about how to be more efficient or how to feel better in everything that I was doing. And the Boulder College of Massage Therapy was right in my backyard, and I was like, "Well, I'll just try it." And then, I mean, that was it. Like, I fell in love. I mean, I can't even quite say that. It's not like I fell in love and lived happily ever after. I loved the school, was trained by incredible people, and then I think when I graduated, I think I had the same experience that a lot of massage therapists have, which is what I was describing before. This kind of, like, overwhelm and this kind of, like, exhaustion of what I was doing. I was more physical now that my body was doing more body work, and was cranking through feelings and emotions of like, how am I going to get through this? And then this spirit inside of me that was like, I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
It works. So I was able to kind of work through a lot of issues and get to another side and get to a place that felt so good to me and so comfortable. And I mean, yeah, that's kind of it. I really don't I didn't have any big moments where I was like, I shattered my bones, and then
I actually think that's even better of a story to tell because one of the things that I would like to do as part of this podcast is try to attract people into our industry. And not everybody's going to have a big booming, I found Jesus through massage, right?
right,
Story.
right.
So it's okay to have, hey, this massage school is right here. It's convenient. I could give it a try.
Yeah.
And then you fell in love with massage over years. I mean,
Over many
you
years.
know, I think that's more normal, to be
Yeah.
honest. It is, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have to like I totally feel like this has been a theme running in my life recently, but I feel like it's so relatable to relationships. Like, we think growing up, watching all the movies and all the TV, that we are going to come to an age of adulthood, meet that perfect person, fall in love, and live happily ever after. And that perfect person is going to be everything to us. It's going to be all the things, our best friend and our lover and our business partner and our roommate, all the things. And that just is not true. And I feel like what you learn as you get older is that the definition of love is very different. At least that's what I feel like I've learned. It's such a different scope of things than what the movies and the TV shows say. And I feel like that's what you're saying. Like, the same idea of like sometimes it just kind of falls in your lap and then you make the best of it and then you figure out how to like be better in the parts that are hard, and you figure out how to move around the parts that you maybe want to change. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
none of this
I
is
agree with
linear.
that. I mean, I don't necessarily think you have to have this big calling to become a therapist.
Yeah.
I mean, it does help to have some natural ability. I do believe that's helped me a lot because I have some natural skill and maybe some natural ways of feeling empathy towards other
Mhm.
people, right?
Mhm.
I think that
Mhm.
comes in handy for our business. But as far as like having this big moment of truth that says, oh, I have to have this, you don't have to have that.
Right.
And you don't have to even pretend like you have to have it,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Like,
So
I feel
true.
like there's so many people that are doing this big show of production, like, I have this great newfound beautiful energy, and that's awesome, but, like, maybe instead of making it a big show, right, maybe say, "Okay, what are my real intentions here?"
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I've always kind of looked at those people and thought, like, I envy that. Like, because it didn't happen for me
Yeah.
like that. So I wonder what that feels like. That looks like it feels amazing. But then at the same time, I sit in this place that I'm in now and I love so many parts of my life because I've worked so hard at creating a life that I wanted and didn't even know I wanted when I wanted it.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
One thing that you're really good at is posting videos and social media content. How do the rest of us know what we're doing in life? I mean, when we have you. I mean, when we look at your content and like try to make something ourselves, it's very different.
You mean like making content?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't even know, Julie. I feel like the only thing I do I do get this question a lot. Like, how do you make content that is so engaging or whatever the word is? And I love that people are engaged with it and it warms my entire heart and it makes me feel connected to a community, which is what this is all about.
It is.
But I feel like the only thing that I can say about that, I don't have any advice of like, you have to get this phone or this camera and this lighting and this microphone, and you have to like think about your music and it has to match and pair. Like, I don't, I can't do, my brain hurts too much if I think about it like that.
Yeah.
So I think the only thing that I do is put out the kind of stuff that I would want to see. And that's it. Like, it's this kind of a whole Kevin Costner, if you build it, they will come scenario. What is that movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Field of Dreams.
Building dreams. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like it's the same for your practice as a massage therapist or my practice as a massage therapist. If I were to try to do deep tissue massage and craniosacral and reflexology and shiatsu and all the things, then my message is being received in a confusing way to people who might be clients. So I feel like if I'm just going to do what I feel like what resonates with me, and then in content, if I put out the kind of content that I feel like if I saw that I would laugh, or if I saw that I would totally like want to see it this angle or whatever. And then I just feel like if people love it, they love it. And if not, that's okay because I'm not doing it for the accolades or the likes. I'm doing it because I love this and I'm doing it because I love this community. And that, I don't know, whatever your driving force is, whatever you think would be awesome, whatever you think you would be attracted to or resonate with, then I think that's what you do.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you for posting content. I know I'm going to give a shout out to my massage therapist, Crystal McMurray. She's going to be so freaking excited that I did that. She loves you. And she told
Oh,
me that she had a client coming in after me that she needed to work on his shoulder. And she was going to go back and look at a video that you posted about shoulder work before he came in.
nice.
So I love
Nice.
that. I mean, I teach business marketing for massage therapists.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I constantly talk about is your target market.
Mhm.
Who do you want to see your content? And really think about what they want to hear. What is it that people are needing to hear right now? And sometimes they're coming in and telling you, you
Yes.
know?
And oftentimes I feel like it's what am I needing to hear? I mean, I feel like there's stuff that I'm like, what is the thing that is just bothering my brain right now? What is the thing that is like I can't get out of my head or what is the thing that I realized about my own functionality and I questioned and then I like dive into it and then I'm like I'm just going to post about this because this is where my brain is at right now. And so I think predicting how your stuff is gonna hit is impossible. But
Mhm.
I think, like you just said, kind
Mhm.
of know who you're speaking to,
Mhm.
and most of the time, the people you're speaking to already like you. So
Yeah.
be you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're a mirror for what you attract too. I mean,
Mhm.
I think one of the things that you're really good at is showing your personality. And I think that's something a lot of therapists might be a little afraid of.
Yeah.
And I want to encourage people to make mistakes and have fun and enjoy your time. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think some of the best videos are ones that not me, but other people have messed up on. And I'm like, oh, That's fantastic.
I have messed up on so many, and I've just been like, I'm just gonna put it out there. I mean, I am not like curing cancer. And it's not that what we do is not real and good and to be taken
Impactful.
seriously,
Yes.
but I'm not releasing posts that are revolved around research that is going to dictate how a drug acts in a body or something like
Right.
that. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, I
Right.
do think that what we do should be taken seriously, and I always say that with a grain of salt kind of thing, 'cause I just feel like we could all look at it a little differently with a little more lightness. And I also wanna say this, like, what you just said is something that I feel like I think about all the time. So I think a lot of people would not be okay with showing their personality online, and I think ultimately that my ability, for lack of a better word, to show my personality is great, but also has massive downfalls. Like, a person's greatest asset is also their greatest downfall. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I've always believed that, and I feel like I went through a long phase in my life where I was like, "Allison, you have got to, like, not be so loud. You have got to stop telling people what you think. You have got to, like, pull yourself back in social situations." And, like, I've kind of learned how to navigate things that feel a little bit better, but also that's the part of me that I really love, and I love that I can be that. I'm not good at other things, and I think that if you can embrace who you are for its good properties and its bad properties, then I think you're on the right track and onto something that I think will work for you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I have one of my favorite comedians. Her name is Catherine Ryan. And she says, "It's a good thing we're not all alike because we all can't love your father." She doesn't say love, though.
That's hilarious.
Another
That's
outlet.
hilarious. That's so funny. I'm gonna have to look her up.
Yeah, she's really funny. She's got a couple Netflix specials. Yeah, yeah, that was her. I think I quoted that correctly.
Yeah, I'm sure. That sounds totally funny. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was really good, but it's true. I mean, the quirkiness in us is what attracts people to us. Our
Absolutely.
uniqueness is the some of the best things that should shine. And now I say that, but if you're ethically ambiguous,
Mhm.
let's say in massage, I
Mhm.
don't think that's appropriate. It just should.
Yeah, I mean, all of this is under the scope of, like, do no harm. All of
Right.
this is like, this none y do what you want to a point. I mean, be don't do anything bad. Just don't do anything bad. I
Right.
mean, this is
Right.
where the rules come in. This is where I
This is
feel like
how to
that
poke.
is so important to understand
Yeah. Yeah.
where the boundaries are. I mean,
I agree.
boundaries are a huge part of what I try very hard to practice and build and support, and I think that needs to be true for everybody.
I agree. I totally agree. Boundaries are so critical in our industry. Allison, where are you based out of?
I'm in Southern California.
Ooh, that sounds fun. And what are you teaching right now?
I mean, kind of everything all the time, which is not really true, but kind of. So there's like I teach a couple different things. I teach my YouTube channel, which I am working on some videos, some newer content for that, is really kind of lots of different things. And then I also have a Patreon account. Do you have a Patreon account?
No,
We
I
should
don't know what that is.
we should talk about that. Patreon is a place for people who love what you do to help support what you do. And they can support you financially in a number of different tiers depending on how you want to set it up. And depending on the tier, they get back a lot of stuff. So for me, discounts on what I sell and like kind of behind the scenes content or extra content. And so I teach a once a month to my top tier. I teach a once a month class that they get to pick the topic. And so that evolves all the time. This coming up month, it is going to be about positional release, so a focus on that technique in general. And then I'm teaching actually a positional release class for the ABMP Summer Summit, neck summit coming up this summer. And then I'm teaching an upper body and a back and shoulder mobility class, week-long workshop in Costa Rica in July, which will be very fun. And then I'm teaching another weekend workshop, which I believe is going to be about the shoulder in Chicago in October. So teaching lots of things, teaching in many different ways, in many different formats.
Would you be open to discussing coming to Dallas at some point?
Yes. I
Yay.
would. Yeah. I mean, especially because I have a business colleague who lives there. And isn't the AMTA summit there? Yeah.
Yeah. So we're hosting the Dallas AMT, the national convention in Dallas this year
Yes.
in August. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited. We're having a booth.
Are you? Nice.
Yes, I have a booth there. I mean, I wouldn't be able to afford it in another city, but in my home state, I can.
Do it. Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
really excited. I'm really
Yeah. I thought about it. It's expensive, but I thought
it's expensive. I'm
Yeah.
really hoping we sell a lot of stuff. But our name will get out there and it's all marketing, right?
it is. It totally is.
It's about branding
I
and
mean,
marketing.
yeah, selling products, which I looked at your website and you sell some things, but selling products is like eye-opening to what business is all about.
Yeah.
So eye-opening. I mean, in terms of marketing, I mean, you said you teach marketing in business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
whew, that's a doozy.
It is. I'm getting an education.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is
That is
awesome. It's terrifyingly awesome.
Yeah, it is. But again, like if you don't do the terrifying things, you don't grow. You just
Yeah.
don't.
I think you're gonna really like this story. I want to share with you and our listeners a story that just happened to me yesterday. Actually, last night. So my angel investor is a sweet little lady. She's not that old. She's young, if you're listening. She's not old. I love her so much. Her name is Elizabeth, and she was on my table yesterday, and she was in a lot of pain. She's dealing with some stuff. And so I'm working on her and I'm talking through her, very patient and kind. It's going to be okay. We're in this together. Let's breathe through it. We're going to be fine. Is that too much? Is that kind of thing? And so I walk her out the door and she's fine. She feels great the rest of the day. And I texted her and I had a little panic moment. Oh my gosh, I might not make payroll. I need some help. And it's like 8 o'clock at night. I've been doing massages all day. And I text her this, and she responded to me so beautifully. She said, "We're in this together. Breathe through it." Oh my gosh. It was so impactful for me to feel that love back from her because massage is an energy and so is money.
100%. That realization came to me more recently than not. And when I had that realization that money is energy, similar to how massage is energy, I was like, oh, this changes everything. Like it changed my whole perspective.
Yep. I mean,
So true.
it's been blowing my mind, that thought right there.
Yeah.
And
That's amazing.
okay, so there was a painting I saw. I can't even remember where I was. I think I was in Flagstaff, somewhere in the West. Anyway, I went to this art gallery and there was this painting of this huge painting. It was like 10 foot tall and 20 foot wide of this huge horse. Okay, first of all, I don't care about paintings really. I mean, they're nice, but I don't go into art galleries. That's not my jam. But my whole idea was mind shift around money at this was all about that. And so anyway, I walked in and I was like, rich people buy art. Let me see what's up with this. So I walked up to this painting that called my name. I mean, he literally took up the whole wall and he was like, "Come to see me." So I walked up to this huge painting of this horse. I like horses. They're perfectly fine, but it's not something like that I normally am attracted to. So it was really weird. All of this was strange. I go into an art museum I never go into. I find this big ass horse on the wall and I can't get away from it. And this woman comes up to me and I see the price tag is like $375,000 or something. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
There's a point, I promise.
Okay.
She comes up and she starts explaining this horse and how this artist actually uses energy for her painting. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, tell me more. And she's like, yeah, look in the corner of this piece. And it says like, I don't remember what the number was, like 628 hertz. It was the frequency of something, like sound or something. I can't remember exactly. It just blew my mind. And I was like, and I knew enough about art to know I'm not supposed to touch it, even though it was the first thing I wanted to do. And I told the lady that worked there, I was like, I really want to touch this and I know I'm not supposed to. And she said, no, touch it. And she literally took my hand and put it on the painting and moved my hand around. She goes, that's one of the things that the artist wants you to do with this painting. And I'm just like, this is really crazy. Like, I've never experienced this before. And then I just started weeping. And she was like, this is just so, it was a beautiful moment.
Oh
And
my
it just,
gosh.
it really reiterated this moment of like energy and money. And I mean, it was the whole
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
making sense?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It makes sense on so many weird, awesome levels that I can relate to because weird and awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
that's incredible. That's really
Right.
cool. I definitely feel like that's one of those things that when you start to, I don't know, like when you hear a word for the first time and you understand its definition and then all of a sudden you hear it everywhere. It's like that.
It
Like
is.
you start to see money or whatever it is in a different way. And then literally it changes. It
Mhm.
changes in the
Mhm.
world. And then you understand it better or differently.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's some crazy.
And I do really think that massage therapists have some mentalities around money,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
One of the stories I like to share in my business marketing class is I used to have this lovely lady that came to see me. She was an accountant and I had just started my practice. Like literally, it was like the first year. And I'm working on her and she was so sweet and kind. And I said, I have a question for you as an accountant. I said, I'm having a hard time asking people to pay me.
Yeah.
It was such a humbling moment for me. I'm like even feeling my feelings now about it.
Totally. Totally.
It was a humbling moment to ask for help in that way,
Yeah.
especially to a client, right, who pays you. But
Yeah.
like she was such a dear person. I thought I can trust and ask her this
Yeah.
question. And her response was chef's kiss. Okay. She said to me, so let me get this straight. She said, you have no problem having a complete stranger come into your space, take off their clothes, get on your table, and you touch their whole body. And then you ask them to put their clothes back on, and then you have a problem asking them to pay you?
Yeah.
Is that right?
That is hilarious. I
I
mean,
was like, yeah, that's right. That's right.
so perfect.
And
So
she
perfect.
and she goes, we're very different people.
Yes. But we are. And I was just having this conversation, not you and me, but me and accountants. Like I was just having this conversation this morning about how accounting makes my whole body hurt. Like I can't, it hurts. Like everything about it hurts.
I
And I,
feel that.
yes, totally. And I feel like when it comes to money, I mean, there is so much that I always want to say about money. If any massage therapists are listening and I want to try to impart something that is going to make an impression, I just feel like it's exactly what you just said. There is a level of things that we're okay with. And then for whatever reason, we're not okay with this. And that blockade, the only person that's hurting is you. And I think that's again a question of boundaries, but instead of having a boundary to keep something out, it's a boundary of protection and a boundary of like, okay, if I'm going to give this much of myself, if I'm going to understand this much about the human body and I'm going to give you what feels like the most effective thing that is going to help your pain or your dysfunction or your issue in this moment, and I'm not okay with asking for an energy return in that, then I am going to not be able to pay my bills. I'm going to not eat well. I'm going to suffer in the long run. And then you're going to lose me. And that to me feels like it's doing everybody a disservice.
Mhm.
Then earning money is not about having a flashy car or a diamond earrings or whatever it is, the thing that feels gaudy and expensive. Having money is about creating a connection and a foundation for a community that feels solid. And I know that feels so disconnected, but to me, I feel like the second I shifted my mentality about money, the more I was like, wow, I feel like I have more energy. I can sleep a little bit better. I'm not struggling. I'm not questioning myself. I'm not buried in insecurities about it. And then I'm more productive in my life and in my world. And therefore, like, I'm a better massage therapist. I'm a better boss. I'm a better friend. I'm a better partner. Like, that's the
Great.
community that I want. And then if I'm suffering, I can't build that community that is going to keep me healthy and keep this whole idea of who we are and what we do afloat.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true.
Yeah. Well, you said it. You did. You said it. I mean, like, your story is like, that's exactly what's happening. I just tried to like reverb it in the way
I
that I experience
It's a
it.
different it's a good to have both
Yeah.
perspectives. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's true. It breaks my heart to see our industry and people suffering and not succeeding in their careers and having to go and find other jobs or a second job, and then their massage job goes to the wayside or just
Yep.
dies.
Yeah.
And we need more therapists in our industry. I
Yep.
mean,
And it's
and
such a good career. It is such a good
it
career.
is. It really is. And as you mentioned earlier, the route you take is endless. I mean, you can change paths several times. You can find your rabbit hole and dive right in. You can reinvent yourself 100 new ways to send it. For
Yep.
somebody who has ADHD, I haven't been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure butterflies everywhere. I mean, I thrive in a place that I can do that because before massage, I could not hold a job for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think there's a reason for that. It
Yeah.
didn't keep my attention.
Yeah.
I'm bored now. I learned
Yeah.
everything I wanted to know about you. Let's move on to the next thing. I mean, 2
Yes.
years, and it seemed like a long time, but it's not. I've been a massage therapist now for 18 years.
Nice.
So, I say all that because like I said, I want more people to be
Yeah.
attracted to our field, especially ethically sound people.
Yes. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, it's the whole conversation of like, you get out of it what you put into it. And if you put into it angry, negative, resentful energy, that's what you're going to get out.
Mhm.
Period. Like,
Yep.
done. But if
Yep.
you put into it like, let's see where this goes and I'm just going to like make the best of this part and this part, then you're going to get all those cool things back. I mean, PS and by the way, when I was in massage school, YouTube did not exist. And I never could have predicted 25 years from then, me being where I am now. Like, there's going to be stuff that comes up that we have no idea is coming. And we just never know. Like, I don't know. There's too many variables. Just take a thing you like doing and just do it to the best that you can and have so much fun with it and dive in and like do all of the things and enjoy every ounce.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we often talk about because I feel like my trading room and retail area in Plano, handcrafted therapy, we are a community center for massage therapists to really like nerd out. So we go down we call it going down real little rabbit holes. And
Mhm.
so we will dive deep into some particular subject. And I mean, we might talk about the molecular chemistry of arnica oil
Amazing.
and why it works on bruises.
Yeah.
I mean,
Love
I
it.
can do that as a lotioneer. I've named myself a lotioneer. Allison, how do you like that?
I love it. I love that.
This is the first time I'm publicly announcing this. It was a fun wine-filled night one night, and I said, "I'm a lotioneer, like a chocolatier from Willy Wonka."
Totally.
Anyway, but, rabbit holes like that where you're like, "Oh, I can't feel a cranial rhythm," or
Mhm.
"Which muscle is this?"
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think those rabbit holes are like little I don't know, massage angels that are
Yeah.
going, please learn this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They're
Absolutely.
massaging our little brains going, come on, we need you.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Just
Yeah.
listen to them and just go and just do the whole things.
Do all the things.
Create words like lotioneer.
That's right. Lotioneer. Well, very good.
I love that.
So is there any takeaways that you'd like to give our listeners?
I mean,
That's such a
YOLO.
broad question.
Just YOLO. Seriously, YOLO. Like, I know that is not in trending anymore, but it is such a good, I mean, you only live once. So this idea that we more often than not, people who are trapped in a rut more often than not, speaking from experience, act out of fear or worry or a very narrow view of what is possible. And I feel like if you can break down those walls and whatever, how people break down those walls is a whole gamut of different stories and variables. I mean, it could be meditation or it could be like, I don't even know, a relationship breakup or whatever. There's 9 million things that get us to a point where we start to break down these walls. But once you get there and you can really take a deep breath and be brave and step forward into the things that are uncomfortable or a little bit scary, and you start to explore the possibilities of a different perspective, your life will be so different and you will soar. You will soar. I mean, who knows how that's going to look, but oh my gosh, we are on this earth for one go around. Just dive in.
Oh, that was so beautiful.
Oh, yay.
Beautiful. Will you be my best friend? Yeah. We're gonna have to do this again, Allison. I feel like we have so many things to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
and we have
I kept thinking, my brain, I like, don't go there, Allison. There's like, that tangent is too big.
yeah, I mean, like the boundaries, it's too big.
Yeah.
But I do really like, I don't want to waste any of your time, of course.
No, it's okay.
But I think like we have a lot of together, we have a lot of knowledge and desire to move this industry forward.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy. I like that word. I like
Yeah,
how
for
you
sure.
said that. Because
Yay.
we talked about money being energy and massage being energy.
Everything.
Podcast is energy.
Everything. Totally.
How can I help you?
Oh, you're so sweet. I mean, interviewing me is like such a kindness. It's just such a nice thing. Making a connection and having me on your podcast is such a kindness. So I appreciate that. And I don't know if I come to Dallas for the AMTA thing next year, then I will let you know and we can go
Yeah.
have a drink.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to meet you there. And I definitely want to think about like maybe we can set up a class for you to come to Dallas next year.
Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing. I was looking at throwing my hat in the ring for teaching something at the AMTA forum next year. What's it called? Summit. But I think the deadline is like tomorrow and I can't get it together.
Mm.
But I've also considered coming as a sponsor, like sponsoring and having products there and doing that whole thing, which you know well.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, if we can coordinate something, I am game. I'm totally game. And I love just the connection and the opportunity. And like anytime I can get
know.
my brand out there is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's helpful enough. And I appreciate it so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to,
Can I send you some products?
please, I would love that.
Yeah?
Can I send you
Have you
some
tried
products?
any?
Yeah.
Please. Okay.
Cool.
So I saw you. Do you make your own lotion?
Well, I have a cosmetic laboratory that I've worked with that makes it in bulk for me.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now,
Amazing.
we make other products in-house. So we have a muscle rub. Gosh, there's so many things. We're working on a myofascial cream right now that has like really tacky, no glide. Oh, that's really fun. It's
what I make.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I'll send you, well, this is in beta test. So what I'll send you is a test of it and a questionnaire.
Okay. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the world that I'm in, like that
Yeah.
super tacky myofascial work stuff. It's the world I live in. So yeah, let's swap products and chat products. I
I'm
love
so
it.
excited. I'm so
Yeah, for
excited
sure.
about that.
Yeah.
Good. Well, if there's anything I can ever do to help you, I want you to know you have a resource in Julie in Plano, Texas.
Thank you, Julie, and vice versa. Is there anything you feel like I can help you with?
I don't know. Maybe.
Come to Southern California, do something
Yeah,
cool here,
maybe so. Maybe
I
we can swap teachings.
right?
I don't know. We'll
I
figure
don't
that
have a
out.
space here where I, like, can very easily just teach, but I'm a
Got it.
resource, and if you
Yeah.
ever wanna come here, let's make it happen.
Okay. That sounds good. Well, let's reconnect before you make it to Dallas in August.
Okay, for sure.
And then maybe we can do this again sometime soon.
I would love that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Julie.
I'm so thankful for you spending your valuable time with us today.
Oh, sweet, and same. It's all the same value. It's all
It's
good.
all good. Yeah, and let me know where I need to send the products to.
Same. I
Okay.
will email you my address, email me yours, and we'll start moving and grooving.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you, Julie.
You've been amazing. What a great guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me on the Handcrafted Therapy podcast. I would love to hear from you. You can email us at podcast@handcraftedtherapy.com, or you can come by the store. It's at 3303 North Central Expressway, suite number 240 in Plano, Texas, 75023. Or you can connect with me on social, Instagram, Facebook, #handcraftedtherapy. I'm Julie Alexander, and I wish you a very happy and healthy day.